Hi, Cardinals. I'm back to read you the very last section of The Earth Dragon Awakes by Lawrence Yep. And for the last time, I'm reading this with permission from HarperCollins Children's Publisher. The last time we read on Friday, some good news happened. The firemen and volunteers were able to control the fire. So we're getting towards the very end, and the next section starts in Oakland. So we are at 7:15 p.m. Saturday, April 21st, 1906, and we're in Oakland. Ah Sing, Ah Quan, and Chin have been working all day. They look across the bay at San Francisco every now and then. Black clouds still rise from the city, but there are only a few fires left. Then a ferry brings the news. The great fire is dying. In the early evening, they go to the pier with the Travises. They can see the ruins more closely. Everything hits Chin now. They have lost their homes and all they own. Worse, they have lost their friends in Chinatown and the cable car men. Silently he begins to cry. He glances at Henry. He is crying too. All of them are crying, even Ah Quan. They have not had time to feel sad until this moment. They have all been too busy trying to survive. Then Chin feels something wet touch his cheek. At first he thinks it's a tear, but then he feels another and another. His shirt is wet. He looks up. It is raining. Henry puts out a hand. Too bad it couldn't have come sooner. At least we have umbrellas, Mrs. Travis says. She shares them around. Mr. Travis opens his, then he winks. They are very handy. Late afternoon, Sunday, April 29th, 1906, back in San Francisco. By Saturday, April 21st, 20,000 people have fled San Francisco by boat. Some 225,000 have left on trains. The trains and boats take them all over California. But others are stubborn like the Travises. They want to rebuild their homes. The Travises are eager to return to San Francisco. I can swing a hammer with anyone, Mr. Travis says. He makes a muscle. His bank has reopened, though it is just a tent and a small iron vault. He could commute from Oakland on the ferry, but he decided to camp out in the tents that have been set up in Golden Gate Park. 11 days after the earthquake, Ah Sing borrows his cousin's wagon to take the Travises to the park. After the Travises rebuild their house, Ah Sing will work for them again. Chin will go to school, but it will probably be in Chinatown, if there is a Chinatown. Henry doesn't think it's fair that Ah Sing and Chin cannot stay with them. The Chinese are not allowed in the park. They are being moved to Oakland and other cities. The people in San Francisco don't want to let us back to our old neighborhood, Ah Sing sighs. They want us to build a new Chinatown in Hunters Point. If you own your own land, that won't happen, Mr. Travis says. You tell your friends to see me. I'll give them the names of good lawyers. Ah Sing guides the wagon off the ferry. They go through the dark tunnel of the ferry building. They pull out of the traffic and stare. The great earthquake and fire have left nothing. There are just hills of rubble where buildings had been. Here and there a steel beam curls upward like a burned pretzel. A charred wall marks where a store once stood. Ribbons of smoke rise everywhere. Everything is still smoldering. Mud and ash cover the cobblestones. It's like the moon, Mr. Travis says eventually. Then they hear a clink. 3 men are going through the rubble. One of them picks up a brick. This one's still good. He adds it to a small pile. You see, Mr. Travis says with new confidence, people can't wait to start over. He can already see buildings and not ruins. The next moment, Sawyer leaps off the wagon. Henry and Chin jump after him. The little dog scampers over the rubble excitedly. After a long chase, Henry scoops his pet up. We don't have time for this, Henry scolds him. Then he notices a bit of color in the dust. What's this? He picks it up. It is a cheap paper book. Someone must have dropped it. It survived somehow. On the cover is a cowboy. He blazes away with his pistols. It's one of those penny dreadfuls, Mrs. Travis frowns. Let them keep it. It may take the boys' minds off of things, suggests Mr. Travis. A few days ago, they used to read books just like that one. Life seemed so dull then. Chin shakes his head. You keep it, Henry. I've had enough excitement. He hopes that the Earth Dragon will sleep a good long time. Henry looks at their parents sitting on the wagon. They aren't dismayed by the wreckage. They're ready to rebuild their city. That takes more courage than capturing outlaws. He whispers to Chin, and we don't have to look far for heroes. They were right under our noses all this time. Henry tosses the book to the side. Then he climbs on the wagon with Chin and Sawyer. They'll have enough adventures building a new city too. All right, so that is the last page of The Earth Dragon Awakes. If anybody is interested in learning more about the earthquake in 1906 in San Francisco or about that time period, you are welcome to do your own research, and you could always create a Google Doc and share it with your teachers. We'd love to see what type of learning you come up with. Also, there's one more question for you to answer on the Google slideshow today. And it's just a general question about the Earth Dragon Awakes. We would like to know, would you recommend this book to somebody else? Why would you recommend it? Or why wouldn't you recommend it? So that is the question that you have to type your answer in on the Google slideshow for today. And then starting tomorrow, there will not be an Earth Dragon video tomorrow, but then on the next day, which will be tomorrow's like a math day, and then the next day will be a reading day. So the second grade teacher will come on and do a different type of a reading activity with you on the ELA video. All right, we hope you have enjoyed listening to this book. You've been such good listeners, and we're really proud of you. Keep up the good work, guys.